Hey everybody, it's Casey from Brokeback Adventures, and, well, we gotta do that. There's Hank in the sunbeams as he likes to be, which are bountiful today. It's wonderful. It's still a little chilly, but it's warming up nicely. And I'm in the process of utilizing the solar setup and keep things charged up, all that good stuff. I wish I would have got this when I started this trip, because even little, just charging a phone got to be very challenging, and you'd have to find gas stations with outside outlets and ask them permission. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes it would be like, whatever like that. So I got the Jackery. So I didn't. Oh, I keep walking in the sun. I'm trying to find a spot. There we go. Anyhow, we got the Jackery, and it does a fine job. I haven't had to stop at a gas station for the last several hundred miles. So, good investment. And if you decide to go on a tour, I highly recommend you get some sort of solar setup to charge your junk. The one I have it's a 40-watt panel, and it's plenty to charge my blinkies, charge the phone, and charge the power bank. That's part of the whole deal. It's also a nifty little thing is when the power bank's at 100%, I think all the power that comes from the panel goes through whatever gizmo is in there, and it never drops below 100% while I'm charging the phone and blinkies, other such things. Kind of an interesting deal with that. That's really cool. So yeah, it's a good deal. But that's not the purpose of this video. This video is for you gearheads and inventors and tech people, whatnot like that. I'm going to show you my hitch setup that I built and tell you the reason why I did it in the manner of which I've done it. Had to flip the camera. First and foremost, I did it because I didn't want, well, one, I have a through axle on this bike, and they don't accept your standard little hitches that usually hook up on your axle bolt. Now they have things, that apparently wrap around this, and you can still do the same thing. But with the trailer I'm hauling, the weight I was hauling, I really didn't want to put that much stress on one side of the triangle, so to speak. I didn't want to put all the stress on one bar. I kind of wanted to space it out because I knew it was going to be pretty rugged ride. I'd be off-road and I'd be pulling it through stuff, and it's a pretty hefty trailer, fully loaded with the dog and everything. So there it is, and this is close to the final rendition. I do want to adjust the angle a little bit in the height and bring it down just a hair so it flattens this out, and henceforth it'll flatten out that rack a little bit. Although it doesn't bother me that much, other than, it's offensive to my sense of, right angles and levels and stuff like that. But it's doing a great job right now. My thinking behind this was, first off, this is an old piece of somebody had used it to hold a mirror on a hutch, or a chest of drawers, whatever. And it turns out it's extremely hard steel. It's hardened steel. This stuff was a nightmare to drill and cut. It's beastly. So that's the main bracket, and then all the accessories such as, this here, this wraps around to here. The whole idea is to try to spread out the load. So with this strap that comes around here, what was happening is once you put the trailer on, it wanted to make this whole part tilt down. So I had to reinforce the back of it. So I put this strap and hooked it to here, and then it triangles here with a reinforcement brace right there onto the 10 millimeter rack bar, and then another piece of flat stock. This is aluminum, I'm pretty sure, and it came with the original rack that I got with the oh, have I mentioned how many blows to the head I've taken? The Magnum. Let's just say I tore that up pretty quick. Had to do a quickie redesign on it because the setup's really back here is completely different than my GTO. I essentially destroyed the other rack pretty quick like. This rack, I'm not sure what kind it is or what it came off of. It was gifted to me by Master Sergeant Dan, retired Master Sergeant Dan, when I was in Topsail, North Carolina. And this is a way sturdier piece right there. But the idea is when it pulls down, it's going to pull down here with the triangle, that and that's going to kind of help keep that from wanting to flatten out. And then there's an anchor point. And here is an anchor point, although I want to get rid of that P-strap and get a C-clamp more like this one here that came with the old rack. I need another pair of those to replace that. That would be a much sturdier and cleaner look. And then another piece of light gauge strap steel. Apparently these, I couldn't figure them out, but I got online and finally somebody asked the same question I was wondering. And it turns out these, which are pretty hefty screws, are for a battery rack that you can put in here. And I assume that there's a little protection pad here, and that's part of the whole deal where the rack can sit there and won't scuff up your nifty bike. Trike, I should say. And really not really heavy gauge metal here. It's 14 gauge, I think, just shy of a 1/16 of an inch thick. I wanted it that way because it'll have all the pull strength I need and have enough flexibility to work with without having major tools. The rack, this was designed the same way as the Green Speed rack was, where there's a piece of stock that goes through here, bolts in, and then it bolts into one of your braze-ons here. I made the mistake of going with that original. This piece right here is actually part of the original flat stock on the original rack, and I mangled it pretty quick. I was in a hurry and I had to get it done, and I had limited tools and couldn't do it the way I wanted to, but it got me where I was going. And so we've reconfigured it. We cut off all the bent and broken bits and saved the last harder piece, put it at a slight angle. The reason I did that is I gotta quit saying geez. Anyhow, it was a double purpose. One, for braking, it would tend not to want to jam into here. And for weight, it kind of brings it at an angle where it's a little bit stronger. You know, triangles are the way to go at any point, in my humble opinion. I am not an engineer. I'm a hillbilly engineer. Yeah, Kentucky son of a Kentucky son, all that good stuff. So that's how it's mounted onto that brazon. All the bolts I used are stainless hardened bolts. Sorry about this, folks. It's a bad habit. So it's all bolted together, and it breaks down easy. There I go again. It breaks down easy. I like the this mounting setup better than this mounting setup as far as keeping the fore and aft on the rack. It's a little more adjustable. It's pretty strong, although it looks like I bent my bolt. That's okay. We'll live with that. We'll, get another bolt. I don't know what that's made out of, and I probably stressed it out at some point or another, just, banging it together and whatnot like that. Not a big deal. It's not a high stress point right there anyhow. Eventually, I am going to attach the rack to the main bar. Right now, it's just basically sitting on this. As you put weight on it, it'll sit on that, and it keeps from sliding off from the mounting spoke for the fender. That keeps it from going too far back, but I would feel much better, once I get it bolted in. But once again, it was time and resources at the time, so it's holding up great. The main part, and this is what I like, this is the actual ball hitch. I wanted to do this for a lot of reasons. One, I didn't want any bars. I can basically jackknife this thing backing it up, as opposed to if you have a bar, you're going to be limited one way or another. If it's just sitting out here, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm old, sometimes gas comes out. Anyhow, so avoiding all that, this piece right here, bracket, is a bracket that holds a microwave on a above stove microwave install. My friend Marsha, she had a new microwave put in. They didn't use it, and I looked at it and I was like, can I have it? She goes, yeah, I'm just going to throw it away. I was like, perfect. That's going to work great for what I'm going to do. And I have it bolted in. There's a 7/16 bolt back in here, another 4mm stainless steel Allen head screw there, and of course the ball. Now the ball and hitch part, that was from, I'm gonna have to get back to you and find out. It was out of England. It was like $20 for it. It's basically designed to go on a seat post on a regular bicycle, but I don't have a seat post, so I had to redesign it, so to speak, or make it do things it probably wasn't originally designed for. But it works great. I have stressed the bejeepers out of it, because it does get tilty when it's fully loaded, and it tilts over, and it tends to bend this part right here. And I just gotta bang it back down again a little bit. Quit doing that, Dutton. Good Lord, moron. Anyhow, it tends to bend this, and then the trailer will want to pop out when you hit a bump. So I just got to tap it down a little bit, and then the lock key to keep it from popping out. That's pretty much the hitch and rack setup. And you may think it's going to break, but it is not. I've put this thing through some serious testing, including off-road, pulling it through sand, Lots of stresses in every direction you can imagine. My tongue weight's a little bit heavy. I think my tongue weight's probably right around 40 pounds. I'd like to get that to drop down to 20-ish, 25, somewhere in there. And that'll be easy enough. I'll just have to relocate the wheels on the trailer a little farther forward. Uh, it's a very strong setup. I have every confidence this is going to make the rest of the tour. I might have to make a few little tweaks on it here and there. But there it is. While it's unloaded, that is the rack setup. Incredibly, it really is strong. It looks like it would break in a second, especially when you're using the little 4mm Allen head screws. But stainless is pretty tough stuff, and it's holding up fantastically. There's my lock. These thing's a beast. What kind is it? It's an On Guard. That was gifted to me by a guy who used to own a cycle shop called Zen Bicycles. And shoot, I can't even remember what state I was in when I met him. Great guy. But that's a burly lock, and I love the mounting system. You'd think it'd be flopping all over, but that thing just stays. There's also a big burly cable that goes with it too, so that's very nice. Another thing I picked up along the road is coffee cup holder. That was a fun road gift. That was very cool. Thanks, Mike. And there you go. That's the load-bearing beast, the mule, the Green Speed. We'll go right around here. The Green Speed Magnum, burly trike, and it's not even their burliest one they offer. They also offer XL, which is super, like a Super Duty. That one has a weight capacity of 450, 475, somewhere in there. This one's 400. I have no worries about the bike, and now I have no worries about my rack setup other than a few little tweaks and things like that. So there you have it. Some of you people like geary kind of stuff and things like that. So that's the rack setup. It works. It's a little unsightly, but the nice thing is it's covered by pannier bags, so whatever. And plus, I'm pretty unsightly, so, whatever. I don't care what it looks like. It just has to work, and now it does. We'll give you a little look around of Camp Zero. Let me just flip the camera around here. We're in the National Forest here on the coastline of South Carolina. I mentioned it the other day. It's I've taken a lot of blows head. I already forgot the name of it. Lovely camp. Hank and I are about ready to go to explore. And here's Camp Zero in South Carolina in the National Forest. And I love it. I love it. I haven't seen a soul. It's quiet. I don't hear road noise from the highway that's half a mile off. And no scary beasts have come visited me yet, although Hank has alerted to some things. It's a pretty cool place. You can see an observation post right there. Fortunately, hunting season's over, so I believe this is the hunting section. Hunting season's over, so there's been nothing going on here, and it's been fantastic. So, in closing, for me and Hank the Tank getting his sunbeams, peace. And, oh, don't forget, the love part. I can't do it with my right hand anymore. Only 2 fingers work right anymore. So, we'll see y'all later. Ciao.